Hey, so I'm starting this as a video blog, kind of documenting my process through bariatric surgery. I am going to be having the gastric sleeve procedure in 2 short days. It's been 9 months getting to this point. And so, as a recap, what I've been doing for the last 9 months is logging everything I eat, drink, all my exercise, everything. It all goes into a log, and I have been once a month. I take my log to the doctor, get weighed in. He looks at what I'm doing. He adjusts the calorie goal, generally down. So for the last 4 months or so, I've been on about 1,400 calories a day. And my body is good, solid, sturdy peasant stock, and it's holding on to every ounce. So that's actually why I'm taking the rather drastic step of having this surgery. I have had weight issues for over 30 years. Diet and exercise help. I say I have flabs of steel because I'm actually pretty strong. I got a lot of muscle under here, but my body just wants to hold on to everything. And having my thyroid out makes that even a bigger challenge. So I needed a bigger tool to shake things up. So if the only tool you have is a hammer and that hammer isn't working, get a bigger hammer. So hence this process. Now this is a tool. It is not a magic cure-all. You still have to work it. You still have to make the lifestyle modifications. But it's easier because now your stomach is about 90% less than it used to be. They remove about 90% of your stomach. So you don't have a whole lot of capacity. And the other advantage to this particular procedure is the hormones the receptors that actually secrete the hormone, a hunger hormone called ghrelin, are for the most part, in the section of stomach that they're going to surgically remove. So you don't feel hungry a whole lot. Really, my issue is not so much with food choices, it's more with quantity because I get hungry. So this way, not getting hungry, I think will be a huge tool for me. And I'm willing to make the changes that I need to make. I'm not doing this for cosmetic reasons. Honestly, I'm comfortable in my skin. I don't really care what my dress size is, but I want to be healthy and I want to have the best quality of life that I can. Right now, type 2 diabetes, although it's in really good control. My last A1C was 5.4, which is in the non-diabetic range. That is with medication that I take every day. And of course with diet, exercise, the stuff I've done. So I've got good control, which is great because that means I don't have complications of diabetes, which I don't want. They're ugly and they've certainly affected plenty of my family members already. So I've got that. I've got hypertension. I have arthritis that I probably would have anyhow, but I'm sure it's worse because of the extra 130 pounds or so that I'm lugging around. So at any rate, my reasons for having surgery are health related. I also have sleep apnea. I might not have it after losing a significant amount of weight, but we'll see what happens there. I, at this point, can't imagine sleeping without a CPAP because I've gotten used to it over the last 10 years. I've got asthma, which is just the country you heard from. It makes me cough. I've been coughing for 50 some odd years. I'm really tired of that. And I'm also hoping that a decrease in weight is going to help with asthma. I don't know if it will or not because it is sort of an inflammatory kind of a process. And I'm allergic to air, and Bakersfield has super chewy air. So that is what it is. But at any rate, my goals for the process are actually to lose weight for health purposes. Cosmetic, that's a bonus. That's awesome. Now, I make a lot of my fair garb period clothing. I have been making it most recently with additions in them so that I can remove those additions and I can shrink them down so my clothes can shrink with me, or I can make new ones, which is actually kind of fun. I enjoy that. So At any rate, the last 9 months, I have been going through all of the pre-op processes. It's usually a minimum of 6 months, but for whatever reason, they just had me keep going beyond the 6 months just to make absolutely sure there was no excuse for the insurance company to go, oh, no, forget it, you're done, we aren't going to pay for it. So it's jumping through the insurance company hoops. If I had the cash, I could go down to Mexico and get it done without all of the extra hoops, just your standard pre-op testing. But this is all right because the process that you go through here kind of helps you mentally gear up for the significant changes you're going to have to make. So what else have I done? I have met with a nutritionist. I have had a psych eval. I have had an EGD where they put a camera down your throat, take a look in your stomach. EGD found a couple of surprises that I had no idea were an issue. Number one, ulcers. The ulcers actually don't bother me at all, and hopefully they're healed now because they put me on protonics for that. But I'm pretty sure those are from taking naproxen every day for arthritis pain. Right now I'm off of all NSAIDs because of the upcoming surgery. But they do work well, so I'm kind of hoping I get to go back on them a few weeks after surgery when the bleeding risk is over. Because Tylenol doesn't really touch it. At any rate, the other surprise that they found was a hiatal hernia. So for those of you who don't know, it's not super uncommon. It happens, especially if you're overweight. The chances of it are being higher. But basically, a hiatal hernia is when the stomach actually protrudes up through the diaphragm, and so that is something that they're going to repair. Usually the symptoms of that are heartburn. I have heartburn, but it's not horrible. You would expect it would be worse than that, but for whatever reason. So they're going to repair that hernia, put a little mesh in there, and that's going to keep the stomach down where it's supposed to be, which is below the diaphragm. So they found that. What else have I done? Yesterday I met with the surgeon, last visit with the surgeon before surgery. That went fine. I mean, he was asking how the pre-op diet is going, and it's going surprisingly well, easier than I expected it would be. It sounds horrible at first when you're hearing about it ahead of time, but now that I'm actually doing it, it's not so bad. Probably because I'm used to doing protein shakes. Anyhow, I've been doing protein shakes for a couple of years now, at least. Actually, I think I've been doing protein shakes for 4 years. Approximately 4 years I've been doing a protein shake for lunch every day. So it's an adaptation and extension of that, but it's something that I'm okay with. I kind of think of it as my liquid human Purina Chow. It's fuel, keeps my body going, and allows me to do what I gotta do. But it's quick and it's easy and it's convenient. So there's that. So pre-op diet, what have I been doing? So to back up a little bit, my surgery was originally, when they finally gave me a surgical date, it was November 24th, day before Thanksgiving. So we were planning on that. And on the 9th, we went out for what was going to be my last real meal. It actually was my last real meal for a while. We went to Fragati's. We had Italian food. I haven't had Italian food in probably about 3 years. It's been a while. And it was excellent. Our waiter was great. Thank you, Andrew. You were great. The food was really, really superb. Quantities were, actually, I have leftovers in the freezer for when I can have them. So there's that for quantity. So we did that. And I was supposed to start my liver shrinking pre-op diet on the 10th. Well, they called me on the 10th and said, oh, we're moving your surgery up to the 19th. Crunch time. So that meant running around like a headless chicken, getting lab work, EKG, chest x-rays, everything else that they might need. So all of that got taken care of, and I started my liquid diet. So the liquid diet is 1,000 calories a day, and mostly liquids, although for a while you're allowed to supplement with some hard-boiled eggs and some string cheese. So I did that right up until yesterday. Yesterday was my last egg, and then instead of string cheese, I ate a piece of really good English aged mature cheddar. And so that was my treat, because from this point on, I am on liquids for the foreseeable future. It's going to be at least probably a month before I have any sort of solid. By solid, I'm talking, pureed, soft stuff, not real food. It takes about 6 weeks for your stomach to heal along the incision line. So the post-op diet restrictions are super, super important, so that you don't spring a leak and have to go back in for emergency surgery to repair the damage that you could have not have happened if you'd followed the directions. I'm going to follow the directions to a T. So today is full liquids. So that is, any liquid that I like. It doesn't matter if you can see through it or not. I have a blender bottle that I got with a little mini personal smoothie blender. So I've been whipping up my protein drinks with that. It'll see a lot of use through this process. And the reason I got that one, the one that I got is called Oh Yeet. And the reason I got this one is because it can do small amounts. So I can actually make a 5-ounce portion of whatever it is I'm going to drink. That is important because right after surgery, my stomach capacity is going to be 1 to 2 ounces. That's a medicine cup. That's tiny. As you heal and the swelling goes down, it's going to increase. But basically, it's never going to be more than like 3/4 to a cup of food at a time after surgery. And so a blender that can handle little tiny amounts is a good investment. I really like this one. It works really well. I've been using it for shakes for a while now, but now it gets to pay for itself. So today is shakes. Tomorrow is liquids only, but it's clear liquids only. Excuse me. But I also work tomorrow. So I'm going to be using IsoPure, which is a clear liquid protein supplement, and of course plenty of water. I want to be really hydrated going into this process. It'll make it a lot easier afterwards. So I will be doing those shakes. I'm also glad I'm working from an emotional standpoint, because right now I'm a nervous wreck. I am always stupid nervous going into surgery. I mean, stupid nervous. Like, my brain knows I'm in good hands. It knows that my surgeon, the anesthesiologist, the whole surgical team, they're pros. They know what they're doing. They're going to take good care of me. I'm going to do fine. My lizard brain is convinced I'm going to die. Anytime I have surgery, that happens. And, sorry, that's lizard brain again. It's that I want to live, I want to survive instinct. And whenever I'm going to have surgery, it is absolutely convinced I'm not going to make it through, even though I do fine. The only problem I have after surgery is the anesthesia makes me wake up and vomit up twice my body weight. So I'll be letting the anesthesiologist know about that, because the last thing I want to do after having major stomach surgery is vomit. So that's a concern. But it's one that we're going to address, and I'm going to get through it. So yesterday when I met with the surgeon, I did take in a list of written questions because I wanted to make sure I got my questions answered. And surgeons are always in a hurry. Their time is in great demand. And so that way it's quick and organized for them. So what did I ask? My questions were in terms of medication. How do I need to adjust things? For pills, when am I going to be able to swallow capsules again? We switched over my blood pressure from the time release, my blood pressure medication from the time release formulation to the immediate release formulation, because I can crush the immediate release formulation and that'll be fine. So he said, basically, if the capsule pill, well, not capsule, but the tablet, if it is Tic Tac sized or smaller, it will go through. And so my question then was, okay, well, how long after surgery before I can swallow regular ones? And he's like, no, this is for life. I'm kind of not really buying that. I'm thinking once I'm a little bit out I can actually swallow something bigger than a Tic Tac, but I'm certainly not going to try that beforehand. I don't want to risk any obstruction. So other questions, practical questions. I'm a nurse. We think about poop. Obviously, I'm not going to be putting a whole lot in, so you don't put a whole lot out, but I normally do take a fiber supplement. And so I'm like, is a fiber supplement okay? Or is it going to cause a risk of blockage? If it swells and blocks, then you're going to be nauseous, you're going to be throwing up. He actually said, because I've read in some of the materials doing my research, that you aren't supposed to do fiber supplements because of that risk of blockage. He said he tells his patients that they actually need to take fiber for the rest of their life. Well, I do that routinely anyhow. But he suggested something like Metamucil that's drinkable, the stuff you dissolve, or Benefiber, basically stuff you're dissolving in a cup of water. Now, I had switched over to capsules, but I can switch back over to the powder. That's no big deal. For the immediate post-op, prune juice, the old standby. Thankfully, I like prune juice. I won't have to worry about drinking too much of it because I won't be able to hold a whole lot. So, back to the emotional part of it. It's going to be a ride. It's going to be a journey. It's going to be, right now, I am simultaneously jazzed. I'm excited. This is the best gift I can give to myself. And I'm really, really looking forward to reaping the results of hard work in better health. My health isn't horrible, but it could certainly be better, and I would like it to be better. So there's a side of it that is like, yay, we're finally here. We're moving on. We're going to take this big step. And then once it's done, it's a matter of recovery and learning about life 2.0, the new life afterwards. The other part of me is, of course, terrified because it is the unknown. Oh God, I hate the unknown. I like to plan. I like to know what's coming up ahead. And while I have an idea, I haven't experienced it before. So yeah, part of me is absolutely terrified. Excuse me. But I'm lucky in that I have, excuse me again. I'm lucky in that I have an awesome support system. Oh my God. So Les is very supportive. He is kind of losing his little mind right now because he wants a schedule. He wants to know what's going to happen, what he can expect day by day. And a lot of it is stuff I don't know yet. I mean, I know general stuff, but I don't have the specifics yet. I don't even know what time I report to the hospital yet. And it's 2 days from now. It's Thursday. I will find that out tomorrow evening. So literally the night before is when we get to do that. I can't give him that information. I don't have it yet. COVID is certainly screwing things in terms of that. But at any rate, today I'm going to pack my bag with the stuff that I'm going to take to the hospital. It is usually, they said, a 1 to 3 day hospital stay. I'm kind of anticipating one, but I don't know. And so for support system, of course, I have Les. I have Debbie. Oh my God, Debbie, I love you. You're awesome. Debbie is driving all the way down from way up north. It's a long drive, and she's going to come down and probably make me laugh with fresh incisions, and that's going to be painful, but it's going to be a good thing. So I'm looking forward to that. If you have to have someone on your team to bat for you, oh my God, she's like the best team member ever. I have coworkers. So Janine is one of my coworkers, and I've known her for a number of years. She is super awesome in terms of support. Also, I have other friends who've had this procedure or similar or other weight loss procedures. So they have been through it. If I have questions, I can ask them and they're going to answer. So I want to thank everybody who's supporting me through this process, because it makes it a lot easier actually not being totally alone and in a void. So At any rate, I'm going to wind this up. Tomorrow is, like I said, I work and it's the last day before surgery. Tomorrow I find out my date. So I'll do probably a shorter update entry in this video blog just to kind of follow up with where I'm at tomorrow and what the roller coaster is doing. But I feel like I'm in a tunnel and there's that light, and man, it's getting bigger because we're getting closer. So once more, into the breach we go.